Hope everybody had a good night. Everybody enjoyed their night. For those of y'all that don't know me, I'm conscious. For those of y'all that do know me, I'm conscious. And I'll be taking over the day for my wife. I am the husband of the chosen one by Ashley, or Ashley the chosen one. So I'm taking over for her today. She asked me to do this live for her. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this today. Um Today's subject is your yesterday is not your tomorrow. Again, I tell you, today's subject is your yesterday is not your tomorrow. That's what today's subject is about. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the reason why I chose this subject is because I know a lot of times myself, I find myself, thinking about, things that I've been through in the past. I've had times where, in a lot of situations, I've sat there and thought about how my past was a certain way. And because my past was a certain way, it made me afraid to even think about the future at some points and times in my life. We all go through that stage where, we don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. We're afraid of what tomorrow gonna bring. And sometimes that can be worrying, can be troublesome, and a lot of other things. So that's what made me choose the subject today. And plus, I sat there and I thought cause it just came out of nowhere. It's just like one of them things where I was just sitting there and getting ready to wake up. But as soon as I woke up, it was like, wow, I'm thankful that I woke up. And then I'm like, I woke up the next day. I woke up again. So I'm like, I'm thankful. Because a lot of people don't wake up. But then I'm like, well, will I wake up tomorrow? So that's why I chose the subject. So I'm going to get started and talk to y'all. A lot of us, a lot of y'all just stuck. Y'all stuck living in the past. Like, y'all been through so much things in the past. Like, some of y'all have had y'all heart broken. Some of y'all have been disappointed. Some of y'all have been through anger. Some of y'all have been through a lot of abuse. Some of y'all been through survival tactics. It's been a lot of things that you went through, that you've been through. Like I said, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. I don't care what you go through in life. Everybody's life has a story. Like, everybody has a road that they've had to walk on that has gotten them to where they're at right now, today. Anyway, as I was saying before, been through different things. So it's like, when you go through these things, it's like these things that you go through it so much that becomes it travels with you. It's like it basically it follows you like a shadow. So it stays on your back, and and it's like, no matter where you go, it's like the shadow always walking with you. You're always going with this shadow. The shadow just continuously being right there, pulling you. It's continuously walking with you. So it's like, as you go on through life, these different things that you've been through that was in the past continues to go on with you into the future. And as it goes on with you into the future, these things have caused you to be afraid to even want to progress, or even made you, not want to even think or even want to move towards the future. It's gotten in the way to the point that you don't even believe that you might even have a bright future, because all these things have gotten in the way. It's done so much. It's clouded your vision. It keeps clouding your vision. It's going, and it gets in the way, and try to hold you back. You know, it's sad. It really is. But the truth of the matter is, in the end of the day, you gotta understand that does not. I say it again, does not have to be your future. I want y'all to walk with me. I know I know a lot of y'all probably thinking like, man, you know, it's like I'm welcome with you, but I'm hearing you, but I'm not hearing you. No, hear me out for real. Listen, like I said, just because you've been through certain things in your life, just because your life was a certain way, or because you know certain things have tried to stop you or get in your way, or because your past wasn't that bright, it does not mean that you cannot have a good future. You cannot, as I say, you cannot allow your yesterday to be your tomorrow, because God has a plan for you. God has a plan for everybody. I say this a lot when I get on these lives. I want y'all to hear me out on this. When if God allows you to come into this world, you have to understand there's a reason why you're here. There's a lot of people who do not get to embrace this thing called life. You know what I'm saying? I can only use my testimony to try to reach out. I tell y'all that all the time. Like when I was in the hospital, I saw young children haven't even gotten to grow to be 4, 5, or 6 years old, that only was living for a couple of months left in their life. You know, didn't even, some of them didn't even get to see, probably didn't want to even get to see this year. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even get to grow and see what the future holds for them. But you're still here. There's somebody right now who didn't wake up this morning. There's somebody right now who went out the door yesterday but didn't go back in the door yesterday. As you continue to go through life, and as you continue every day that you get to be here, you have to understand you're here for a reason. When God puts you on this earth and you embrace this thing called life, it's for a reason. God put you here because you have a purpose to serve. Everybody has a purpose to serve. You're destined to do something with your life. But the thing about it is, you have to try to figure out what that purpose is. Just because you go through trials, just because you go through tribulations, just because you go through ups and downs, it does not mean that you're not going to have a bright future. That's the thing, you know, we allow ourselves, when we go through certain things, we allow those things to stop us from being who we're destined to be, or who God wants us to be. And that's not the right way to go about it. Like, we all have been through something. Everybody has been through something. But just because you went through a lot of stuff, it does not mean that you do not have a purpose. Like I said, your yesterday is not your tomorrow. If you're in a relationship right now, you might be getting to it with your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might have been married for maybe a year, some probably a year, some 5, some 7, some 10, some 20, some 30. You might have been married for a while, or you might have just got married newlyweds, or maybe married for a while. You go through something, you know, you get into it with your spouse. Y'all go through ups and downs. You know, a lot of people sometimes when you married, you sit there, you go through your ups and downs with your spouse. Y'all get into it. It don't matter what the argument is about. Sometimes people just quick to run. They quick to wanna walk away, or avoid, or try to dodge the problem that's going on in their home, or want to be quick to try to let outsiders into their foundation, and that's not the way to solve a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, they carry this on. You know what I'm saying? Then they hold what you call a grudge. They hold grudges, right? And these grudges walk with them. These grudges carry on with them into the next day. They carry grudges into the next day, the day after that, and they keep carrying it. You know what I'm saying? That does not have to be your future. You can have a strong foundation in your marriage. There's different kind of ways to have a strong foundation. For one, keep people out of your business. Number two, just communicate better, trust one another, love each other, and grow together. But the most important thing is you have to put God at the center of your foundation, because you cannot make it being married if God is not the center of your foundation. I say it again. You cannot make it being married if God is not the center of your foundation. God is the glue, because God created both of you, so God knows you better than you know yourself. God knows your partner better than they know themselves. So only God can be the one to keep y'all together. God can be the one to keep the evilness and the demons from coming in and destroying. Because that's the thing about what the devil do. As y'all already know, the devil tends to seek and destroy. He does. Now, let me tell you something. It's important to have God in your life, period. Because the thing about it is, if you're walking through life, as you walk through life, you're gonna face different kind of things. You're gonna face different kind of obstacles. Like you're gonna see different kind of things. Like you're gonna have these good days where things can be going good and there's so much good going on, and it seems like your life is climbing and you're going up a ladder. Like you just going up, going up, going up, going up. You're going up higher and higher. You're going up more and more, and then all of a sudden these bad things going, then all of a sudden it's like here comes the bad. It's like all these bad things happening. You're losing people that you love. They're passing away, or they're going on to the next life. Your maybe your relationship or your marriage ain't going well. You know what I'm saying? Something going on with your children. All of a sudden things are going on at your job. You got issues with the bills, or you got health problems of your own, anything. Like so many negative things could come your way. You know what I'm saying? So many other things could change. A lot of different obstacles can happen, right? And when these things happen, it's like you battling and you struggling and you don't know which way to turn or what to do. You just stuck asking why so much instead of trying to focus on how to change the alternative or what you can do to make it better, because you're stuck in a state of shock. See, when bad things happen, you're just stuck there. You're just frozen. But see, you don't have to be stuck. You can elevate, you can escalate in life, and you can grow, and you can be better, even regardless of your situation. It don't matter if the situation turned bad. Like I said, 1 minute things could be going good in life, and you can be going up the ladder. You can be up here. You can feel like you're on top of the world, and out of nowhere, here comes something all of a sudden that could change that whole side of alternative and make you feel like you're at the bottom of the world. But you don't have to stay at the bottom of the world just because something happens and you get that's what you call a setback. That's called a setback. Just because a setback happens, that does not mean that you have to be stuck in that one place. You can elevate and grow. But the only way that you can do that is if you put your trust in God. Because the thing about it is only God knows how you can come up out that situation. If you pray to God, God can help you. He can help to heal your heart, first of all. He can heal your body, second of all. And he can help to grow your mind. He can help you to understand exactly what you need to do so that you can elevate and be above that situation and grow. Maybe at one point in time, you probably try to walk or you try to get better. You might have had to use crutches, or you might have not been able to do too well on crutches. But all of a sudden now you're praying, God giving you the strength to get on those crutches and move. Now you're using them crutches, and then a little bit later, all of a sudden you're walking without those crutches. Or maybe you was down, maybe you did, lose your job or something like that, or and you struggling because you lost your job, but you praying to God, and then out of nowhere, while you applying for these jobs, going to these interviews, you ain't getting a job, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get a call from a good company, and they come in for an interview and they hire you on the spot. You see what I'm saying? Those type of things wouldn't have been possible if you didn't put God as the center of your foundation. You know what I'm saying? You can be going through health, and your health can be declining any moment. My health was declining at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been in a situation where I had to fight for my life, surgeries and all that. And when my health was declining, I could not overcome those surgeries. I could not come out of them severe surgeries or overcome that coma that I was in if it was not for God. And the same for you. You could not overcome whatever health crisis you're facing, whatever health crisis your family member is facing. You or them cannot overcome, or anybody that you care about cannot overcome if you do not have God as the center of your foundation. What people gotta understand when it comes down to life itself, or when it comes down to trying to go through life, you have to have God at the center of as the center of your foundation. You will not be able to walk through life, or you will not be able to get to where you want to go in life if God is not the center of your foundation. Like I said, you could feel like you're on top of the world for 1 minute and you come crashing down tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Anything could change at any moment. Like right now, I could right now, be driving a BMW, and all of a sudden I done went from driving a BMW to travel to catching a metro bus. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, because all of a sudden my car broke down. Anything could change at any moment. But if you don't have God to center your foundation, God can't change the alternative. God can always make tomorrow better than today. like I said. But I wanna shift things a little bit, and take y'all I'm very open and honest about my life and things that I've been through. So I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I remember one time, this is back when my father was in and out of my life. So I remember one time my dad, him and I, we came across each other, and when my father first came back into my life for a while, after it's been a while, I was like 16, or was I 15 or 16? I was 15 going on 16. I was like in between that 15 16 years old, right? So my father, my biological father, he came back in my life. My mom and him tried to work things out again or whatnot, right? So my father comes back into my life. So when I first come across my father, now I'm coming in from school. I didn't even know he was at the house. I come in from school, and I walk in the door. I walk in the door. Yeah, I go boom. So I come in, I open the door, root, this door to the apartment, right? This was downstairs or whatnot at my grandma's house. So I come in the door, boom. So as soon as I walk in the door, I see my father, right? And he's like, oh, hey, son. And he's trying to embrace me and all that stuff. And I'm looking at him like, son, like, I'm not your son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had an attitude because back then I was just ignorant like that. I was cocky and I was in the streets already. I ain't care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But he tried to embrace me, and I told him straight up to his face, I said, you're not my father. Like, you're not my dad or whatever. So he looked at me and he got upset. You know what I'm saying? And we got to arguing, and my dad got to swinging on me. So me and him, we get to fighting, boom, boom, boom. We tussling, we going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And throwing blows or whatnot. And when it was all said and done, my family got in between it. They broke it up. But when it was all said and done, in the end, we apologized to each other, and it took a lot. It took me a lot, sitting down, thinking about it, a lot of prayer, and a lot of forgiving for me to be able to give my father another chance. But I was able to forgive him, and I gave him another, and I was able to give him another chance. And I know, and as I gave him another chance, I started to notice that me and my father had more in common than I thought we did. And I got to spend that time with him, and I learned a lot of different things from him about how to be a man. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I never forgave him. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say, like, you can't stay stuck in the past. You just can't. Like, I made in that situation my tomorrow better than my yesterday. See, the yesterday was my father was in and out of my life. I didn't care. I felt like all I had was myself. You know what I'm saying? But when my father came in my life, I made it a better tomorrow. I gave him a chance, and I allowed him into my life. And when I allowed him into my life, I got to spend time with him. I got to grow. And I did that through forgiveness and prayer and some more. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I did that because it helped me to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot stay stuck in the past. You cannot. You cannot. A lot of us, we stay stuck in the past because of the simple fact that we dwell too hard we dwell too hard on the bad things. It's like we look so much into the bad stuff that we forget about the good things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we sit there and we worry about tackling this problem, tackling that problem, doing this, doing that, all kind of different things that really ain't doing nothing but causing distractions. Yes, I said distractions. It's not doing nothing but causing distractions. Like, we worry so much about the pain. We worry so much about the hurt. We worry so much about the darkness. We worry about all these other things that we're really being distracted from the bigger picture. And that is what God wants us to accomplish. We so distracted from the bigger picture of what we're supposed to be. We're distracted from the bigger picture of where we're supposed to go in life. All these different things we cannot work towards getting there because of the fact that we're so stuck in the past. I know a lot of people right now. I got associates right now who are still stuck in one spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact it ain't like they have to be stuck in that spot. Like, some people I know have money. You know what I'm saying? Some people I know have resources. Some people I know have all kind of other options, but they cannot go forward. They don't. It's like they can't become successful. They can't do nothing else other than be stuck in that one spot because of the fact that they're too worried about what happened yesterday. They're too stuck over here in the past that they're not even thinking about or even trying to go forward to the future. The past has them so blind and so stuck that they're just in this one box right here. They're just in this one little circle. It's like they're not trying to step outside of the circle. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're too afraid of what tomorrow gonna bring because of the fact that they're too worried about the past. And I tell people that I know all the time, like if they to try to put God first, and some people just don't want to take God seriously. That's another problem. A lot of people do not want to take God seriously. You have to understand that God don't play. God ain't nothing to play with. He ain't no joke. Like I don't care what your belief is. God is real. God, and one day God is going to come back for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I try to encourage people, and especially my friends. I try to tell them like, you know you can be whatever you want to be. You could have a bright future. You could do some things. Because like I said, they have resources. Some of them have money. You know what I'm saying? From what they've done in the past. I don't care how they got it. But they got money, got all kind of different options. But they don't want better for themselves because they're too stuck in the past. You know what I'm saying? They're too stuck in living like this over here. They're not thinking about, oh, I want marriage. They're not thinking about, oh, I want to travel. They're not thinking about, oh, I want to be able to grow old. They're not thinking about none of them things. They're still acting like as if we did when we was like 17, 18, 19 in the early 20s. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to elevate in life. And then some of them are so damaged because they've been through so much in their life that they don't even believe they got a tomorrow. Like they keep living their life off of the option of living and thinking like this, oh, I'm gonna die anyway. So everybody die young, or I might not see tomorrow because of how I'm living. So it is what it is. I'm gonna keep living it up for today. I'm gonna keep going in. I'm gonna keep going in that. They just keep living their life like that, and I keep trying to tell them there's a better way. Don't A lot of y'all still think of y'all life like that, like oh I'm gonna die at some point in time, so I might as well just enjoy life while I'm here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna sin. I'm gonna be this way. I'm gonna be that way. Da, da, da. But you not thinking about the fact that even though you are doing these things, there's still probably a better tomorrow for you. Like y'all too stuck in today. Y'all too stuck in the right now. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking about tomorrow, but you're going about your life, or you're going about the future the wrong way. See, with that type of mentality, with the way that you're thinking, without you not even realizing what tomorrow gonna hold, you're still gonna stay stuck in this one spot. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's going to be your own downfall. That's going to be the reason why you might not live long. See, I know I'm coach on God. I'm coach somebody on God with that one. Like, what you mean, conscious? Like, what you mean I might not live long? See, the thing about it is, right, when you're stuck thinking about today and you're just living that fast life and doing this and doing that, you know what I'm saying? You get caught up in the bad, you get caught up in bad habits and doing bad things. And when you get caught up in bad habits, you get caught up in doing bad things. That can be destructive. Like you get caught up in drinking, doing this and doing that. You get caught up in your demons. You get caught up in the wrong things. You forget about God. You forget about Him and Him guiding you. You forget about which way He's supposed to lead you. And sometimes those type of paths that you take when you're following behind your demons, and you following and you doing what the devil wants you to do because you're stuck. You know what I'm saying? That ends up causing destruction in your life. And that could be your biggest downfall because when you get comfortable with the darkness, you get so caught up in the darkness, you lose yourself. When you lose yourself, it destroys you and it can kill you. Yes, it can kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, everybody, when you put on this earth, from the time you come onto this earth, you have a clock. I always use this example. You have a clock. There's like it's like when you were in school, there's a clock on the wall. It got a battery in it. You had that clock that goes tick, 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 tick. But at a certain point in time, that battery does run out. That clock, that hand that was moving, it stops moving. Just like a phone. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a phone. Everybody has a battery on their phone, right? Boom. But at a certain point in time, if you don't charge your phone, your battery dies, right? So at a certain time in time, your battery run out, the phone shuts off, and then guess what? The screen goes black. Boom. That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta live your life better. Stop living in yesterday. Stop living in yesterday. You don't have to live that way. Like I don't. I'm telling you, like I don't condone that. Like at one point in time, I was living my life wild. You know what I'm saying? I was living my life fast. Like I was out here in these streets and I was just wilding out. I was getting in trouble. I was doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at it like survival. I was also looking at it like I was in love with it. You know, like the thing about the streets is like a drug. It's like an ultimate high. It's an adrenaline rush. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get in it, you don't think about tomorrow. You don't think about the consequences that come with it. You don't think about jail, death. You don't think about none of them things. When I was out there doing the things I was doing a lot of bad things, you know, and like I said, I was living in that situation where I was just living like this. You know what I'm saying? Living wild, just moving in the fast life. You know what I'm saying? I was living like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I might not see tomorrow, so I'm out to crash out for the day. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But that was the wrong mentality for me to have because God had a better future for me. I just didn't see it at that time. You know what I'm saying? And if I had not, you know, went through the obstacles that I went through, if I not had went through the things that I went through, if I not had not changed my mind frame, I would not be here today. I'm gonna tell y'all, yeah, today this live is different. You know what I'm saying? This live is real different because as I'm talking to y'all, as I have been for now 26 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I've been all over the place with explaining about the difference between today and tomorrow. I done switched the topic about how like 3, 4 times. Yes, I'm all over the place with it today because when it comes down to not allowing your past to be your future, when it come down to not allowing today or what you went through yesterday to go into tomorrow or the next day, there's different kind of ways that applies. So yes, I have changed the subject, and you're gonna notice until the rest of the time that I'm on this live, I'm gonna keep on flipping the subject because I want y'all to get an understanding, a clear understanding in different kind of ways, and not just in one way. You know, let me tell you something. Having having belief is very important. One thing about it is you gotta believe in yourself. I think that belief plays a big part in a lot of your life. Like you have to be able to believe that you're going to be somebody. You have to be able to believe that you're going to accomplish different things. You have to be able to believe that you're going to grow. You have to be able to believe that you will be successful. Belief plays a big part in that. Like you have to have faith, and then you have to make sure that you're putting God at the center of your foundation. You have to make sure that you're trusting God. You're understanding what God wants you to do. You're willing to walk the path that God wants you to walk. You know what I'm saying? You do not have to sit there and be stuck. If you need help, be willing to reach out for help. You have to be willing to reach out for help. You have to call out to God. Everybody, it's like so many people have a problem with calling out to God. Or so many people have a problem with admitting that they need help. So many people think that if they admit that they need help, they looking weak. They feel like, oh, if I admit I need help, I'm weak. Somebody gonna look at me like I'm weak, or they're gonna look down on me. You know what I'm saying? But that's not true. But then again, you can't trust everybody, can you? Because you never know. Like the person that you go to might sit there and try to use that to destroy you. They might try to tell you the wrong things because they want to see you crash out. They might have been jealous of you the whole time. You never know. People have hidden agendas these days. That's another thing. Like this generation is so twisted. A lot of people have so many hidden agendas. Like you don't never know exactly what somebody is thinking or exactly what they're trying to do to you. You know, like it's okay to call out for help. But if you're gonna call out for help, the main person you should go to, if you're married and you feel like you can, if you married, you should go to your wife. You should go to your wife. You can trust your wife. If you feel like you can trust your wife, go to your wife. But more than anything, the main person you should go to when you're going through things, go to God. Call out to God because God hears your cries. God knows you better than you know yourself. You do not have to stay stuck at all. You do not have to, keep backtracking just because of certain situations. Like one thing about it is it don't matter. It don't matter. Like you're gonna walk in life. You're gonna walk. You're gonna continue to walk, right? But sometimes as you walk and you continue to grow or you continue to become better, You're going to fall sometimes. You're going to fall. But no matter how many times you fall down, you can get back up. It ain't about how many mistakes you made in the past. It's about how many times you kept going to get to where you're at. Like I said, your yesterday does not have to be your tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? The path that you're gonna go on, the way that you're gonna go in life is your choice, is your decision. Only you can determine exactly where you want to go in life. Only you can determine who you're going to be in life. It's up to you to make your tomorrow better than your yesterday. A lot of people want to place the blame on this person. A lot of people want to place the blame on that person. Stop blaming other people for your own problems. Stop looking down. You know what I'm saying? Like I know a lot of people, like for example, I'm gonna give y'all an example. Like I had one associate of mine who every time we sit down, we talk. He always complaining because he's still in the hood. He's still living like this. He's still living like that. You know what I'm saying? And one of the biggest things he like is the white man. He blames the white man. Like he always saying, oh, the government did this, the white man did this, the white man did that, and something like and the thing I always try to tell him is like, at the end of the day, you can't blame the white man. Yes, people could put drugs right here. Yes, people could put guns right here. Yes, people could do these things. People could do those things. That's just like when we walking through life. The devil tries to throw different things at you because the devil comes to seek and destroy. He comes to bring you down. He knows what your weaknesses are. He knows, like, if you for example, if you like sex, he knows to throw lust in your face to cause you to cheat on your partner. He knows how to, if you like drugs, he know how when you're down and out or you're stressing the most and you're trying to overcome that battle, he knows how to throw them drugs at you. It's the same thing with the white man, you know what I'm saying, or anybody else, any kind of man who puts these things in our communities, like guns and all that stuff in our communities. They might throw it right there, but they didn't force us to pick them up. They didn't force us to do these things. We chose to do it. We chose to go pick up them guns and shoot each other. We chose to go get them drugs and we chose to go sell them. We chose to feed into all these other things. When it comes down to religion wise, when the devil throwing these lusts out there, he didn't force you to go and get caught up in that lust. You chose to intake that lust. It's a choice. A life is all about choices. That's another thing. Life is all about choices. I tell my own kids, be careful what you choose. I say because every action has a consequence. And you gotta understand that every move you make, there's gonna be something behind that move that you make. So you have to make very careful choices. The same thing with life. You have to make very careful choices because the choice that you make today can determine your tomorrow. If you get into it with somebody right now and you act off of anger and you do something to somebody, you can end up in jail and be facing 30 years, all because of them 2 minutes of that altercation. 2 minutes now done cost you almost 30 years of your life for tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Or you could have had somebody who was in your corner, who been there for you, always been your backbone, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you treat them bad or you do something wrong to them. You know what I'm saying? And when you do something wrong to them, they cut you off. And the result is they're no longer in your life tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of actions that you make today has a big part in playing what tomorrow is going to be. You have to understand. But see, if you make better choices or you make wiser decisions, your situation today or your situation yesterday does not have to go into tomorrow. You can have a better tomorrow if you trust God. Because the thing about it is, I've said this on lives before. If you trust God, if you put God first, it don't matter what you go through. God will always guide you in the right direction. God will never leave you hanging. God will always have your back. If you put God first, when it comes down to making decisions, you're going to make the right decisions compared to the wrong decisions. You know what I'm saying? Let me give y'all another example. I'm gonna talk about, like, listen, my wife and I, my wife and I, we go through our ups and downs. Y'all know this. For those of y'all who know me, or y'all know my wife, y'all really know my wife more than anything. But for those of y'all that know us, y'all know that we don't sugarcoat about our marriage. We're very open about our marriage with y'all. We're very honest. But my wife and I, we've been through a lot. We've been through ups and downs, and sometimes we do have our disagreements. And I remember at one point in time, like my wife and I, we had a real hard time communicating. We had a real hard time communicating. Like we could not see eye to eyes. Like for every decision I made, it's like she made it sound like I was doing something wrong, or for everything that she thought of or everything she said, I just wasn't on the same page and was making it sound like it was wrong. And we clashed a lot. But once we started putting God at the center of our foundation, we realized like our future is not going to be this way. We don't have to make this be our future. See, we decided to make a change so that what we were going through in that present time would not go into our future. See, that's the thing. When we decided to put God at the center of our foundation, and we decided that what we had and the love and the bond that we had and the commitment that we made before each other and before God was more important, we ended up making sure that we had a better future, and we have a better future today. Like our love is way more stronger. Like we can't be without each other. Yeah, we still go through our ups and downs, but we get through it together. As a team, and we get through it with being on the same page, and we mostly get through it through love. And we couldn't do that if we didn't have God at the center of our foundation. We couldn't do that if we did not acknowledge God. And then could not have done that if we did not work on our communication skills. But like I said, we decided that our yesterday was not going to be our tomorrow. And the same for you. When it comes down to your life, your yesterday does not have to be your tomorrow. Understand that. I need y'all to really understand that. Everybody has different situations that they're dealing with. Everybody have different situations that they're going through right now. Some people are in places in the army right now. They can't be at home with their families. They're out here fighting to keep our country safe right now. You know what I'm saying? You have people that's locked up doing time in jail right now that can't be with their family right now. You know what I'm saying? You got people right now who's in a hospital bed, dealing with health situations that cannot be with their loved ones, their family right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people who are in different kind of situations right now, they're dealing with the fact of where they're at right now. They're scared that they might not be here tomorrow because some of them can't return home to their family. They want to be with their family, but they can't. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, today, they're battling all these different situations. You know what I'm saying? And they're worried like, oh, like tomorrow I'm not gonna be with my family. Some people who fighting in the war, they know the chances are sometimes that they might not see tomorrow because they're out here fighting for our country, and people die fighting for our country. People who locked up right now feel like they might not see tomorrow because they gotta look over their shoulder every 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know if tomorrow is even gonna come because you never know what's gonna happen. Jail is unpredictable. Situations happen. I've been through it. I know. You know what I'm saying? And like, people in the hospital, same thing. Health wise, like I said, I've been here. You know what I'm saying? I've been fighting for my life in the hospital. Had this surgery. I didn't know if I was gonna see tomorrow. You gotta appreciate today. You have to. You gotta appreciate today. And we working on as you're going through your day, try to work on having a better tomorrow. You gotta work on trying to have a better tomorrow. Don't get caught up with thinking that you don't have a tomorrow just because you're going through a certain thing today. If you have, and for those of y'all who do have family members that's locked up, pray for them. For those of y'all who have family members overseas fighting for their countries, I appreciate your service to those who fighting for our country. Or pray for your loved ones who overseas fighting for their country, fighting for the country right now. For those of y'all that have family members in the hospital, pray for them. I understand and I feel them because I've been there too. Pray for them. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to learn more so to uplift one another. We have to spread more love around this world. We have to focus more on doing better. We have to focus on trying to heal the world. You know what I'm saying? There's so much nastiness, so much evil, so much destruction in this world. There's so much, there's so much what's that word I'm looking for? There's so much, destruction. There's so much pulling, dragging each other down. You know what I'm saying? There's so much negativity and not enough positivity, not enough love being spread out through the world. There's not enough, uplifting. There's not enough healing going on around the world. And that is exactly why there's so much confusion. That's exactly why a lot of people are not going forward when it comes down to the future. That's why a lot of us are just stuck on what's going on right now because they're too comfortable with living in the way that the world is now. And then a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of sin going on in the world, a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are not acknowledging God. They're not putting their faith in God. They're not even thinking about God. They're not even trying to trust God. They're not even trying to um, get help from God. They're just stuck in sinning. All everybody wants to just do what what's going on in the world. Sin, 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 sin. But sin is not doing nothing but destroying you. You know, like I remember back in the day when people took church more serious, like our grandparents and stuff, they took church more serious. Like people had longer lives. As you can see, if you really think about it, back when we were young, I'm gonna speak from my experience. Back in the early 90s when I was younger, my grandparents or my parents was living longer. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother right now is in her 70s. You know what I'm saying? I had, my grandfather on the other side is in his 70s, almost 80s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like our grandparents live longer. Like this generation right now, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like some of us ain't living past 30. You know what I'm saying? We're barely even, there's more of us right now not even making it into our 40s than it was back then. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because back then, a lot more people were more focused on putting God as in their foundation in their life. People were more focused on elevating in life. People more focused on trusting God, and that's the thing. If you got to trust God, like I said, if we focus more on trusting God, loving each other and uplifting, the world can be a better place. But right now, the world is just stuck the way that the devil wanted. The devil is calling to tormenting souls. He's dragging us under. You know what I'm saying? And as he drags us under, he's tormenting us. It's a torture thing, and we're falling into his trap. Y'all forgetting that, God is the king. You're forgetting that God is the ruler. You're forgetting how you even came here, how you even got to exist. And it's sad, it's sad because like I said, God is gonna come back at some point in time, and he is not gonna play. You gotta understand, like I said, that your yesterday, what you're going through right now, does not have to be your tomorrow. But if you're not paying attention and you're just caught up and you're sinning and you're just loving the way that you're sinning, guess what? That might feel comfortable for right now, but tomorrow you don't know when God gonna call you. You don't know when God gonna say, "Come home." And when you come and when you go up to see go up to the upper higher part, and you see the king, the ruler, and you see the healer, and you face him, you're gonna have to answer for the sinning that you're doing right now. You're gonna have to answer for the wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta understand, like the things that you're doing right now today is affecting your tomorrow. It's not just affecting your tomorrow, but as you're doing these things, it's affecting somebody else close to you. Some of y'all right now are married. Some of y'all have a husband, or some of y'all husbands have a wife, okay? So if you're out here doing this and you're doing that, everything that you're doing is going later. You might be going through it today and getting away when you feel like a thrill, but everything that goes on in the dark comes to light. And when it does come to light, it's going to shake up your home. It's going to destroy your foundation. Then when it does, when your partner finds out or it catches up to you and it gets your partner, it affects your partner. So then they're affected. You know what I'm saying? When they get affected, here comes the problems. So now you done brought all these problems into your home. You done brought all this confusion into your home, all this destruction, and it done stop y'all from growing into y'all tomorrow. See, y'all tomorrow could have been that y'all could have got rich together. Y'all could have been taking vacations and spreading the word of God and doing better things and doing and enjoying a better life. Y'all could have been getting ready to buy a bigger house. God could have had a plan for y'all to have a bigger house, but because you fell into sin or you fell into these things that the devil wants you to do, you done gotten interrupted about your tomorrow. A lot of us have children, you know what I'm saying? So the decisions that we making today or the decisions that we making back then are affecting our children as well. You know what I'm saying? Because we are responsible for teaching our kids about the future. We are responsible about showing our kids the right way. We are responsible for nurturing our children. We are responsible for financially providing for our children. Everything that comes down when it comes down to our children, we are responsible for. So if you're not taking things serious right now and you're destroying yourself, you're also destroying your children's future. But like I said, that situation or those situations, when it comes down to your children, you do not have to destroy your children's future, and you don't have to destroy your future, because like I said, your children look up to you. So the choices that you're making today could determine what their tomorrow going to be, and also your tomorrow. But you do not have to walk that path, because see, if you put your trust in God, put your trust in God, it doesn't matter how many obstacles you face. It don't matter how many downs you go through. You do not have to let the devil throw these little curb blocks at you when you fall for it. You don't have to fall into no type of traps. You can walk into a better tomorrow. It don't matter what comes your way. You can fight through it. You can get through it, and you can have a better tomorrow. You can have that house that you want for your family. You can have that good job that you want. You can have that car that you want. You know what I'm saying? You can do so many things. Your kids can sit there and see you, even if you're struggling. Your kids can sit there and they're looking up to you, but they'll never know that you're struggling. You know why? Because even though you're going through certain struggles, God is still along the way making a way. You know what I'm saying? Just right now, at this point, you might not have had food in your refrigerator, but somehow, some way, your kids don't know it. You know why? Because when they say, "Mommy, I'm hungry," they look in the refrigerator, say nothing in the refrigerator right then and there, because you put your faith in God, kept your faith in God for so long. God has made a way to put food in that refrigerator. You never know. You look at your bank account, all of a sudden it's $200 in there. Now you can go grocery shopping and put food in the fridge. So your kids didn't even know that you were struggling from the beginning. They just knew at one point the fridge was empty just a couple of hours ago, but now it's full of food. You know what I'm saying? Like, the decisions that you make, you have to understand, can affect your tomorrow. Your yesterday or your today does not have to be your tomorrow. This is why it's important to pray. This is why it's important to put God at the center of your foundation, because anything that you go through, whether it's depression, whether it's anger, right, any type of issues, no matter what those issues are or how they came about, the devil knows why they started, and the devil knows how they can possibly finish. But does that mean just because he knows how it can possibly finish, that that's how it's going to finish? No, it does not. See, because in the end of the day, the only person who has the last say so for real about how those situations are going to end is God. But if you're not putting your faith in God, and you're not putting your trust in God, how will you ever know that you can have a better ending to those type of situations? How will you know how you're going to get through those situations? How will you even know where to go if you don't turn your faith into God? We all got demons. We all got, bad sides. We all got things that we've been through in the past that has dragged with us. We all have situations that we went through, that have hurt us or have gotten in the way, you know what I'm saying, along the way, because we all have a story to tell. We all had pain in our life or something that we went through. But guess what? Like I said, if you put your trust in God, you can overcome those situations. If you put your trust in God, you can heal. If you put your trust in God, you can be better. Your yesterday does not have to be tomorrow. Maybe you was, going through ups and downs. Maybe you wasn't able to find your soulmate. Maybe you was this and that. But if you put, because that was because you was living your life reckless at one point. But see, you don't put your faith in God. You don't finally calmed your life down just a little bit. I ain't say you wasn't still having fun every now and then. It's okay to have fun, but you done slowed down a whole lot and focus your life on better things. You know what I'm saying? And more positivity. And now all of a sudden, that one person comes into your life that you've been waiting for, and they murder you and they treat you right. You finally got it right. You finally got somebody you can grow with. That's because God made that possible. Because like I said, even though you was living your life at this point yesterday, guess what? God said that's not going to be your tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You might have been okay with living your life or being homeless for so long because you were stuck being on drugs or being this person. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somebody came and talked to you and changed your alternative on how life is. Finally, you started putting your faith in God. You finally started praying to God, asking God to help you kick the drugs, ask God to stop helping you being comfortable with living that way. And God has given you the strength to let go of them drugs. You done went into a program, for housing. You done went into a shelter. You done went into a rehab program. You done did all these things. Now you're doing better. Now all of a sudden you could move into that apartment that you wanted. You finally got yourself cleaned up. Now you finally got a job. You got a job also. Like I said, that's because God made that possible. So what I'm trying to tell you is your yesterday does not have to be your tomorrow. Mimi's Mega Light said, amen, thank you. You're welcome. Yes, amen, amen. God can make anything possible. It says it in the Bible, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It says it right there. Again, I'll say that again to y'all. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like I said, as long as you put God at the center of your foundation, it does not matter what your yesterday was. It does not matter what you have going on today. That does not have to be your tomorrow, because God can make a better tomorrow. Anything that you want out of life, or anything that you ever wanted out of life, God can provide those things. God will always provide you with the things that you need, no matter what it is that you need in life. God will always have your back. Never think that you can't be a certain way because your life is right here like this. That doesn't mean nothing. God will always have your back. Another scripture in the Bible says, even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for God is with me. That means that it doesn't matter how many times you walk through the dark times. It does not matter how many times you go through certain things. God will always be holding your hand to make sure that you come out on the brighter side. Or even when it seems like you're going blind and you can't see, God will open up your eyes. If it seems like, it's too dark and you can't make it through the darkness, God will provide that flashlight. God will always have your back. But will you be able to get through any of those things if you do not put God as the center of your foundation? No. God will always have your back. God will never leave you or forsake you. I'm a living testimony. I'm living proof of that. If you ain't gonna believe nothing else, listen to me when I'm telling you that, because I've been through some things in my life. I can tell you firsthand that I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for God. Like all the things that I survived through the street life. I survived through surgeries, you know what I'm saying? I survived through so many things that people said that I was not going to live through. And the only reason why I'm here today, and the reason why I've had a better future right now is because of God. You know what I'm saying? I put God at the center of my foundation, and look at me now. I'm married, you know what I'm saying? My wife, which y'all used to, actually chosen one, wonderful wife. I love my wife to death. I have a wife that loves me. I have beautiful kids, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to be who I am and be a better person. I don't have to worry about all those negative things that I had in my past, like because in my past, I didn't know what it felt like to be loved, but now I had somebody who loved me. God made that possible. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, I didn't know if I was going to live. God made sure that I lived. I'm in my 30s right now. I'm not going to say exactly how old I am, but I'm in my 30s right now. I lived to see my 30s. A lot of my friends that I grew up with didn't even make it past their 20s. Some of my friends that I grew up with didn't even make it to see 18. A lot of them, some of them now are living right now, strung out on drugs as we speak. Some of them are locked up. You know what I'm saying? I got other people who just don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But look at me. I'm doing better. I rose above all of that. I overcame all that. Not only did I overcome that, but so many times where I had these surgeries, there's a lot of surgeries that I had. There's kids, like I told you at the beginning, I seen kids in the hospital who did not make it to see tomorrow. Young kids, like you gotta understand, like I get a little emotional talk about this, but I'm gonna speak about it because there's young kids, 3, 4, 5, ages 3, 4, 5, you know what I'm saying, that had to get these surgeries and they did not make it. I was on the 4th floor, unit 4, you know what I'm saying, where I seen that people didn't make it. There was a children's hospital on the other side. We could hear it on the intercom all the time where they're like, code red, code red, code red. You know what I'm saying? And kids would be dying at the children's hospital. You see what I'm saying? They was getting surgeries and they died on the table, but I'm still here. I'm a living testimony. I'm living proof that if you put God first, put God as the center of your foundation, there's nothing that you cannot overcome. You can have a better tomorrow. It don't matter what somebody told you. It don't matter how many times you beat yourself up. It don't matter how many times life knocked you down yesterday. That does not have to be your tomorrow. God can make a better tomorrow for you. You can make a better tomorrow for yourself. A lot of people, they make excuses. They get caught up in the factor of excuses. Excuses become their main thing to do every day. They got all kind of excuses for why they ain't doing this, or all kind of excuses for why they ain't doing that. Excuses. You don't keep using excuses. Start turning your life to God. Ask God to guide you. Ask God for help. Ask God to show you the way, and God will. Like I said, He will make a better tomorrow for you, because you have to think some of the choices that you make are not just affecting you. You have some people out here have family that care about them. And they family, y'all, the family members are watching them destroy themselves right now. And as they're destroying themselves, families trying to help them, but they don't even acknowledge the help. They don't acknowledge the help because they're too caught up in living the way that they're living. The devil got a hold of them. You know what I'm saying? The devil can get a hold of you too. You don't, but that don't have to be there tomorrow. If they like, if somebody was to help them and tell and show them the way, you know what I'm saying, or somebody was to try to uplift them and show them what God can do, that could change their tomorrow. They could be better. Your tomorrow is the same. It's like, don't keep, allowing, just because you're going through minor setbacks, just because you're getting life knocking you down, just because you're like, oh, this happened, that happened, da da da. Don't keep thinking that has to be your tomorrow. Trust in God to make tomorrow better for you. Walk the path that you're destined to walk on. Start that today. Your yesterday does not have to be tomorrow. It's up to you. You have to be willing to trust God. God is the healer. You have to be willing to heal yourself. You have to be willing to work with God. And as you heal yourself, and when you heal yourself and you go up and you rise, you uplift somebody else. That's what it's all about. See, that's the thing. God put us here to grow, to prosper, to be who we are, who He want us to be. Like I said, everybody has a purpose, but when you accomplish those purposes, the thing about it is that you cannot be selfish about it. You can't look at it like, if you can't look at life and then achieve riches and only think about, oh, I'm rich, so I'm gonna do this for my money, I'm gonna do this with my money, I'm gonna do take care of myself, I'm gonna do. No, you're supposed to be willing to know that the picture has to be better than you. If you're worried about yourself and you're spoiling yourself and you can't about the riches that you achieved and you know you can't get there without God, and you're being selfish when it comes out of that, then you're living your life the wrong way. And as fast as God giveth, God will take away. Like I said, your yesterday doesn't have to be tomorrow, but that don't mean that your tomorrow cannot put you back to where you was at yesterday. I say that again. Your tomorrow could be good, but if you don't appreciate it and you don't put God as in the foundation, you don't realize do what God wants you to do when you get there, God will put you back into your yesterday. Okay? But He will put you back in your yesterday to humble you. That doesn't mean that He gonna leave you in your yesterday. That don't mean He gonna leave you in yesterday. It don't mean it. God will always be by your side no matter what. Like I said, no matter how many times He put you back in yesterday, that don't mean that He's still not going to try to make another better for tomorrow. He just put you back in that yesterday to humble you. Some people need humbling because these days a lot of people are too egotistic. But like I said, God did not put us here to suffer. God put us here to prosper, to grow, to accomplish and be happy. God gave us the power of free will. God gave us the power to love, to heal. God put us in the world to do different things through Him to make this world a better place. Why you think He rebuilt the world a certain way? That's because He wanted us to do different things to help make the world the way He wanted it to be. But unfortunately, the devil somehow got a hold of the world and made it into a dark place where there's a bunch of sinning, a bunch of destruction, this and that, the third. And that's exactly why God is coming back and He's doing the things that He's doing right now to destroy the world, because He don't like what's going on in the world. He don't like the way the world is. As you know, in the Bible, at one point in time, the world was a certain way back then, but God flooded the world. He got rid of that world because He didn't like that evil. He got rid of it. He destroyed that world, right? And God built a new world. But he never said He wasn't going to come back if He didn't like the way the world was. He just said He wasn't going to flood it again. You understand what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make to y'all is, like I said, it don't matter what you're going through. It don't matter what your situation is, or where you been, or how things been. Your yesterday does not have to be tomorrow. God is always going to find a way to make something better out of your situation. It don't matter. Put your faith in God. Allow God to be your ruler, your healer. Hey, Anita. Allow God to be your ruler. Allow God to be your healer. Allow God to lead you the way that you want to go. Because as long as you trust in Him, you can never go wrong. I don't care how many roadblocks you face. I don't care how many downs you've had in your life. Like I said, you're going to grow. You will grow. You know what I'm saying? And don't look at it like, oh, I put my faith in God before, but I haven't gotten nowhere. Or don't look at it like I've been putting my faith in God for years and has got me nowhere. Because let me tell you something. That might be true, but you got to understand that God doesn't do things when you want Him to do it. He does things when it's needed. I say that again. God doesn't do things when you want Him to do it. He does things when it's needed. Even though you've went through a certain amount of time and things have not went your way, that does not mean that things are not going to be better for you at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? God will, when the time is right, make things happen for you. Those things that you pray for, you will achieve those things. You just have to stay focused on God. Keep asking God to direct your path and stay focused on the plan that He has for you. Trust in Him. Put your trust in Him. A lot of people go wrong. And that's where a lot of people go wrong at. And they wonder why they didn't get nowhere and why they never will. But here goes another person who did, put their faith in God, who did wait years and things didn't happen for them. But then all of a sudden they stayed down with God, trusted God, and now they're prospering, they're growing. They done prospered, they grew, and they're still growing. But you, on the other hand, lost your faith in God because things didn't move as fast as you wanted to move throughout that year or two, and you're still stuck right here. So the point I'm trying to make is never lose your faith with God. As long as you trust Him, He's always going to walk with you. He'll always have your back no matter what. If He doesn't do things when you ask for it, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Maybe it's not time for you to receive that blessing, because if you receive that blessing, you're going to kick that blessing out the window. So there's a reason for why God do everything. You ain't never heard the saying when they say God don't make no mistakes. He don't. God do things for a reason. Like, when something happened, you might be like, oh man, something crazy just happened, da, da, da. Or this happened, that happened. And then somebody tell you like there's a reason why that happened. Maybe God did that for a reason. And then later on you see that certain situation happen, you be like, wow, if God didn't do that, that could have been me, or if God didn't make this happen, or if God didn't do this, I could have been this, or I could have been that. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. God do things for a reason. But understand that your yesterday or your today does not have to be tomorrow. God has a plan for your life. God has a direction for your life. Put your trust in Him, and He will show you exactly what that plan is. He will tell you exactly how to achieve that plan. Because like I said, everybody who's put on this earth has a purpose. Don't think that you don't have a purpose for your life. Everybody has a calling. I don't care if you're good at cooking. I don't care if you're good at making t-shirts. I don't care if you're good at reporting the news. I don't care if you're good at gossip. I don't care if you're good at music, whatever the case may be. You're talented for a reason. You might be good at sports. Everybody has a calling on their life, but some of us get sidetracked because we get caught up in yesterday. Some of us get sidetracked because we get caught up in today, that we don't even think about what we're supposed to be doing tomorrow. Then what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is what the place. Tomorrow is the place that God has for you. Tomorrow is that achievement that God has for you. Tomorrow is that success that God has waiting on you. But we don't make it there sometimes because we're too distracted by today and yesterday. Like I said, you gotta get on track. Stop getting caught up in what's going on in the world. Stop getting caught up in sinning. Stop getting caught up in the negativity. Stop allowing people to get in your ear and tell you this, tell you that. Like, stop worrying about what you've been through, or the things, the trials, the tribulations that have led you till today. Stop worrying about that hurt. Stop worrying about that anger. Stop worrying about problems. Stop worrying, period. Put your worries in God's hands. Allow Him to heal your heart. Allow Him to get you back focused. Just because you didn't become a basketball player, you didn't make it to the NBA, it doesn't mean that you can't still make it to the NBA. You might have just turned 30. You might have just turned 31. But don't think, oh, I'm 31, I'm never going to make it to the NBA because I'm in my 30s. I done missed my chance to go to the NBA. How you know that? God might have His plan for you to keep on shooting on the court, and then maybe somebody who's a scout who just walking past might have been seeing you shooting on the court for days and days and days and making them shots, and he might say, I want to take him to try out, because he might be good. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, you go do them trials, and next thing you know, you accomplish that, and they might put you in the G League, and next thing you know, you did the G League, and by 33, you in the NBA. All because you put your trust in God. Or like I said, anything else, it can happen for you any other kind of way when it comes down to your goals. You know what I'm saying? Save this live and post it. Jobby Smith said, I will. Thank you, Jobby Smith. I definitely say live and post it. Malcolm Skinner said, sent good things. Thank you, thank you. Well, like I said, you never know. Don't think that just because you've gone so far in your life, and you made mistakes, that you can that's too late for you to do what God called you to do, or it's too late for you to live out your dreams and become successful or to grow because you're at a certain age or you're at a certain time in your life. That's not true. Trust God, pray. Allow him to guide you, and I guarantee you that you're gonna see a change. You're gonna see a lot. You're gonna see a lot of things that you thought wouldn't happen for you. They're gonna start to happen when he ready for it to happen. Don't get stuck. Remember, your yesterday and your today does not have to be tomorrow. I want to thank y'all for tuning into this live with me. You know, I appreciate y'all, everybody that took their time out to listen, hear me out, and be right here with me. Hey, Anita, how you doing? And be here with me. You know, I appreciate y'all. Y'all didn't have to tune in. Y'all didn't have to listen, but y'all here with me. I appreciate y'all. Um, this is my wife's channel, you know, Ashley the Chosen One. For those of y'all, if you like what you see, you never really been on her live before, but want to check her out, came in, appreciate and love what you saw. Subscribe to the channel, like, you know, I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go click that like button. Go back and like these lives. Thumbs up the live. Come on, y'all. Thumbs up with me. Subscribe to her channel. She got plenty of lives, other videos, all kind of things, you know, when it comes down to healing, helping, growth, and some more. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Again, I'm conscious. To those of y'all that know me, to those of y'all that don't know me, I'm conscious. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all have a blessed day. Go back and watch this live. It's a lot of valuable information, a lot of important things in this live that you should that might help you and help somebody else. Y'all take care. Y'all have a wonderful, beautiful day. I'm gone.